Where I come from is Portland, Oregon, which is pretty far west from here, about as far as you can go and still be in the country. Rains a lot. They call it Rose City, or they call it the City of Roses sometimes. Not really famous for anything in particular. There's I guess the most famous we are is for this airplane hijacker named D.B. Cooper in the 70s. The song, it was back in the 70s, and he got wind that there was going to be $250,000 on this airplane, so he decided that he had a plan. So he got a ticket for the plane, and in the middle of the flight there, he had a little gun, and he got up and he told the lady that he knew there was all this money and that they should give it to him. And on account of the gun and everything, they just went ahead and did. But you can't just go sit down after that, you know? And so what was he gonna do, right? So that there's the door that says, do not open this door. He kicked that door open. And he had this, my favorite part is he had a parachute that he made at home. And he kicked that door open, and he jumped out into the night, and they shut the door, and nobody hurt, well, except for maybe he didn't know, but it was freezing rain at the time. So it was below freezing outside the plane, and he was going down over a mountain that's pretty difficult to climb up, let alone fall down on. And this was all happening like 40 miles from where I grew up. And so my family, we were watching the Facts of Life on television, that show. And it's true. It's a true story. And the TV news came in, and they said D.B. Cooper had hijacked a plane. He got away with all this money. I remember my dad went over to the window, and he kept looking out the window. And then they kept showing the mountain that he was supposedly falling down, and they had the lights going back and forth like a grand opening, right? And they were looking for him, and then like they said they had him cornered. And then, like, an hour later, they came on again, and they said, we really got him cornered now. And I remember my dad kept going over to the window, you know. And eventually, weeks went by, and we hadn't heard nothing about it. And they kept making the same police officer get on television all the time. He was probably the spokes guy or whatever, but he got on there, and eventually, like 6 weeks later, after this D.B. Cooper had become legend with me and my friends, if we were young, and if you saw a stranger, you thought, that's D.B. Cooper. It's probably D.B. Cooper, you know. And then they came on, and they said that after 6 weeks of searching and having him cornered, that they thought the elements had maybe killed him. And you can believe that if you want to. This is the true story as D.B. Cooper told it to me. D.B. Cooper was 43 when we first heard his name. 47 miles away from where he fell down to his fame. He told me that the hardest part wasn't really jumping out of a plane. It was spending the night watching those lights shine down through the pouring rain. They had a manhunt that next morning like nothing I'd ever seen. I was only 8 years old at the time, watching on the TV screen. They were saying he was never gonna make it now the daylight had set in. But later that night they were shining those lights back down on that mountain again. Not far away from the city of roses, and they all watched those lights up through the rain for D.B. Cooper. So the cops blocked off all the exit roads, and they turned loose all of their hounds. They even dragged the river up a couple of times to see if he had drowned. With all those men working overtime, well, they swore they would bring him down. But a parachute and a few $100s is all that they've ever found. Not far away from the city of roses, a light shine from a house out in the rain. Some people say that he died up there somewhere in the rain and the wind. Other people say that he got away, but then his girlfriend did him in. The lawmen say if he is out there someday, they're gonna drag him in. As for me, I hope they never see old D.B. Cooper again. Not far away from the city of roses, a light shine from a house out in the rain. It was D.B. Cooper drinking champagne. He's drinking champagne.
Well, I must say that it's good to be back in Atlanta. And I want to officially apologize for canceling that show that we canceled. Some of you might know about that. Our guitar player had a real bad heroin problem at the time. It wasn't really his fault. I asked him to do it because I thought if we had a junkie in the band that we'd get in Spin Magazine, but it didn't work out.
Right, yeah.
And all we ended up doing was missing shows. So, but anyway, I was sorry that I missed the show here because some of you might know this and some of you might not. But I used to live right here in town, across from the zoo. You know. In fact, I'm going to tell you a story that's pertinent to the entire program. It's important that I get this off my chest. I used to live across the street from the zoo right here in town with this girl. God, she was just perfect. She was beautiful and she was sweet and she knew everything. She just was brilliant. And I was lucky to have her, you know. But I had this record that I put out, you know. And it was doing okay too because I had this fucking song about this band from Seattle and gee. I'm touring around and she's at the house trying to keep her life together, just being so cool. On the other hand, I'm sort of like going through my Bono phase and I think I'm Peter Buck or some shit. And she was just too good to put up with that. So one day she says, either you stop acting like an asshole or get out. And God, like an idiot in a haze, I got out. It was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever done. And I know that's a sad story, but I had to tell it because I wanted to establish early on in the show tonight that I'm a complete fucking idiot. Because later in the show I'm going to be jumping around and dancing like a complete fucking idiot. And even later in the show, I'm hoping to make all y'all jump around and dance like complete idiots. The Rex and I, we haven't played in like a month. We've had a month off to go home and visit our friends and girlfriends. But as always, our shows are a celebration in complete stupidity. And we'd like to carry on with that now. So we sound like this. Got a girl in the Georgia hills, save money so I pay my bill. Broke a bottle and she took my pills. I need to sleep. She made a thing out of me. Knows the world that I want to see, and heaven knows that she ought to be, but I'm a sidekick. Golden haired and halo eyed, walking like she ain't satisfied, saying things that most girls hide. Sometimes she's rude, two Bloody Marys and she's full of grace, laughing all over her pillowcase. Man, a girl could rock a place if she's in the mood. Hey, hey. Takes a liver patiently, listens to me constantly. I'm always falling apart. like it when I'm not home. Hate it when I gotta leave her alone. That girl was a bone with a jealous bone and a runaway heart. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, save money so I pay my bill. Broke a bottle and she took my pill. I mean, say, she made a thing out of me. Knows the world that I wanna see, and heaven knows that she ought to be for I'm a psychic. That girl, I don't go with that girl no more. I got that last song and this song both. I got a few songs about the same girl. Her name was Shannon. She's probably not listening, so that's we lived together in Atlanta for a while. God, fuck, she nagged me so much. They'd be like, you don't have a job. You're asleep on the couch all day. You smoke pot all day. You drink all day. You wrecked my car, you know? Like, fuck. I couldn't please the girl, you know? But it wasn't that. It was more like that. Cause see, like I'm been with my wife now for 7 years, and I have never wrecked her car. That wasn't necessarily what it was. She was so jealous, you know. She had this thing where she thought that I was trying to be with all these different girls, and I wasn't. All I really ever cared about was making music. I mean, that's the truth. But she was like, God, I mean, if you like the girl that drive-through, she'd go, I'll tell you how you looked at that girl at the drive-through. And then the last straw was one night my buddy came over and he brought his daughter with her, and she's 12, you know. And when they left, my girlfriend goes, well, you couldn't have flirted with her more. And I thought, God, this isn't cheating. This is like a felony that you think I'm capable of, you know. So I slept on the couch, and the next day, man, I woke up. I'll tell you what, I said, you got a one shot left, I guess, but you messed up so bad last time. I'm gonna lose my mind, keeping up, it's true. You go one way, one thing, turn around, mood swing, making up a melodrama. Mama, what's wrong with you? Well, I heard you the 10th time telling me again and again about men making everything harder than it ought to be. And baby, you know that isn't true. You know how hard I've tried to keep you satisfied. Hey, Mama, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What'd I do? You think I wanna be with every other woman in this world but you? Well, I tell you all the time how I'm walking the line for you. Every time I see a girl, you treat me like I'm cheating on you. Hey, 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 my something's wrong with you. You took a one bad blow, I know, but you go so far out sometimes. I'm afraid of making that climb out there to you. You get so high, sink low. The next thing that I know, it's a whole new soap opera. Mama, what am I gonna do? Well, I saw you last night thumbing through my personal phone book, looking into cooking up something you could look at till you wound up angry. And baby, you know that isn't cool. You know how hard I try to keep you satisfied. Hey, mama, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What did I do? What makes you wanna think I wanna be with every other woman but you? Well, I tell you all the time how I'm walking the line for you. Every time I see you, girl, you treat me like I'm cheating on you. Hey, 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 mama, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What did I do? What makes you wanna think I wanna be with every other woman but you? We got them all by the balls all the way to the ribbon cutting. You'd rather sit here with your finger on the panic button. Hey, 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 mama, something's wrong with you. Hey, I said, hey, 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 mama, something's wrong with you. Just talking on the bus, my tour manager just said, you haven't played this song in like a long time, and but like 4 of you just yelled for it, so I'll do it. If I don't remember it though, you have to forgive me. This is the oldest one that I got. You got me covered on this. I remember I made this up in the summer of 1985, which a lot of people remember as the 20th anniversary of the summer. No, wait, no. It was 89. That's what it was. Because the summer of that, because it makes me think of, because everybody was geeked out about the summer of 69. Yes. It was the 20th anniversary of the summer of 1969, and that's all everybody talked about at the time. Apparently you guys had some great concerts, just some shit out of it. But I remember I was playing at this place called the Daily Planet on Thursdays, and I used to come down to the shows a little early, kind of like I did tonight, to have a few drinks to take the edge off. And I remember this particular night I was sitting there, and there was no one in there yet, and they had this television on behind the bar, and they had this documentary. There was a lot of television shit about the summer of 69 and the summer of 89, if you remember. And there was this documentary about the Woodstock generation. The sound was down, but it said the Woodstock generation, where have they gone? And right next to me was this guy that had like long silver hair down past his ass. And I looked at him, you know. And I looked back up at the TV, and they didn't put up a number to call or anything. I remember I turned to the guy and I said, man, do you get the impression that 20 years from now when we look back on the summer of 89, the only thing we're going to be able to reminisce about is how much we reminisced about the summer of 69? And he said, there's a reason for that. And I said, what? And he said, your generation hasn't done shit. And I said, that's not true. That's not true. And you know it's not true. And he said, name something. So we stared at each other for a while there, and then I just went home. I made this up to defend my generation. If I do forget some of it, you got to know. My old man says the Woodstock generation found a way to make this nation open up its eyes and take a look around. He says my generation ain't good for nothing, but I can think of something, so I thought I'd jot it down. Hey, here's the hair gel, hanging out the health spa. Hey, using condom sense, watching L.A. Law. Here's the drum machine, stonewash jeans, credit cards, fax machines, big bow-headed chicks, frack eyes, wearing $40 tie-dye t-shirts and big bow paisley ties. And here left out as long as you can and blending in with the crowd. Oh, my generation, my generation, oh, my generation should be proud. We were raised up in the hallowed halls, 500,000 shopping malls, and there ain't any price we're too proud to let our parents pay. We'll buy anything from Diet Sprite to 1,000 points of light. Listen, I admit we're not that bright, but I'm proud anyway. Hey, here's the hair gel, hanging out the health spa, using condom sense, watching Arsenio. Here's the drum machine, stonewash jeans, credit cards, fax machines, big poetic chicks, and frat guys. Let me say, wear $40 tie-dye t-shirts and big bow paisley tie. Here's to living off your dad as long as you can and blending in with the crowd. Oh, my generation, my generation. I played at this place called Martyrs in Chicago. I like to go to the Midwest. They talk different. I come from Oregon, and then I'm from the South, so I have two different accents, and neither of them are really very Midwest. And so, like when I remember I was in Chicago not long ago, and the people there, like if they see me in the hotel or something, they'll go, Tad! And it'll take me a long time to understand that they're talking to me, you know. Ted. And so I played at this place in Chicago, and then after the show, I went to this other bar down the street, and I heard this voice behind me going, Ted! Hey, Ted! Ted! And then he says, hey, Mr. Ted, C.L. Grunge Blues. I said, what did you call me? And he said, Mr. Take Seattle Grunge Rake Blues. And I have this song called the Talking Seattle Grunge Rock Blues. And it took him, and he said, take Seattle Grunge Rake Blues. He said that his wife made him come to the show. I said, did you like it? And he said, she did. And I said, well, that's good enough, I guess. And like a lot of times, if someone starts telling me about something they don't like, sometimes I'll try to get them on something that they do like. So I said, so what do you like? You know, what concerts do you like to go to? And he said, I like the guys with the lyrics. I said, yeah, okay, me too, a lot of the. I said, like, who do you mean? He says, let me tell you something, Ted. The guy says, listen to what he says, Ted. He says, I've been through the desert on a horse, no goddamn name. It's so fucking hard, Ted. Can't name the horse. So I want to dedicate this song to that guy. Hey, my, rock and roll will never die. Hang your hair down in your eye, make $1 million. Well, I was in this band going nowhere fast. We sent out our demo tape, but everyone passed. So one day we finally took the plunge. We went out to Seattle and we started playing grunge. Washington State, that is. Space Needle, Eddie Vedder, Richie Rose, Suzuki. Not fitting fast, we got flannel shirts. We turn our amps up until it hurts. We got bad attitudes and what's more, when we play, we stare straight down at the floor. Ain't seen nothing like that on television all afternoon. To fit in on the Seattle scene, you had to show people something they'd never seen. So thinking up a gimmick one day, we decided we were going to be the only band that wouldn't play, not even a note. Under any circumstances, we called it Silence, music's original alternative. Roots grunge. Well, we spread the word through the underground that we were the hottest new young band in town. The record guy come out to see us one day, and just like always, we refused to play. It knocked him out. He said he loved our work. He said he loved our work, but he wasn't sure if he could sell a record that didn't have any music on it. I said, man, you've been doing that all year. Hey, hey, rock and roll will never die. Hang your hair down in your eye. Make $1 million. Well, they made us do a video, but that wasn't tough because we just filmed ourselves smashing stuff. It was kind of weird because there was no music, but MTV said that they would love to use it. The kids went crazy, the kids went nuts. Rolling Stone gave us 5 stars, said we played with guts. We're going wild, taking drugs, and they asked us to do MTV Unplugged. You should have seen us. We went right out there and refused to do acoustical versions of the electrical songs we refused to record in the first place. Then we smashed our shit. Well, we blew them away at the Grammy show by refusing to play and refusing to go. Then just when it looked like fame would last forever, along came this band that wasn't even together. That's alternative. They're called Guns N' Roses. Help me sing if you know it. Say, hey, hey, my, rock and roll will never die. Hang your hair, hang your eye, you'll make $1 million. Set my monkey on a log. I ordered him to do the dog. He shook his tail, he wagged his head. He went over and he did our cat instead. He's a weird monkey. Very funky. I like to throw that verse in just in case some of you think I don't know which Bob Dylan song it is. Very wise man that he once said that some folks will rob you with a fountain pen. Don't take too long to figure out just what that old guy was talking about. You know, a lot of people don't have food on their table, but they got a lot of forks and they've got knives. And they want to cut something. Look out. You know, the other day I called up the band. I said, you guys, I've taken all I can. I say we shave off these goatees, pack up the van. I'm gonna move down to California, buy a horse, ride it out into the desert. I don't care how hot it is. I'm gonna name that son of a bitch. I know a fella's got a lot to lose. He's a pretty nice fella. Kinda confused, he got muscles in his head, never been used, thinks he owns half this town. He gets drunk at night, he gets a big red nose, beats his old lady with the rubber hose. He takes her out to dinner and he buys her new clothes. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way the world goes round. You're up one day, the next you're down. You see a half an inch of water, you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. Well, I was sitting in the bathtub counting my toes when the radiator broke. Water froze, got stuck in the ice. now my clothes naked as the eyes of a clown. Well, I started crying ice cubes, hoping I'd croak when the sun come through the window and the ice all broke. I stood up and laughed, I thought it was a joke. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way the world goes round. You're up one day, the next you're down. You see a half an inch of water, you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes round. There's a John Prine song. He's got a great story that he tells about one night when he was in San Francisco playing, and this woman kept coming up to the side of the stage, and she kept saying, "Hey, John, play that song about the happy enchilada." And he said, "Maybe you have me confused with Jimmy Buffett. I don't really sing about food that much." He said, "No, you're the one, you sing the song about the happy enchilada." And I'm not, you're gonna have to sing it to me, because I don't know. She said, "You know the one where you say, that's the way the world goes round? You're up one day and next you're down. It's a happy enchilada and you think you're gonna drown." He said, "Oh yeah, I know that one. I'm glad you like the words to it. That's the way the world goes round. You're up one day, the next you're down. It's a happy enchilada and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way the world goes round. That's the way the world goes round. That's the way the world goes round." You know oh sorry, hey over there everybody. How you over there, good? You know, we're gonna do 2 sets tonight. Hopefully we'll get around to everything you want to hear. Play all that shit that I want to hear too. This one is when I come. This is an older one that I got, but about a year ago they asked me to come to Cincinnati and play this song at a high school, which I didn't do very well in high school the first time. But they asked me if I wanted to go play over there. And then I went down to my manager, said they want you to play at a high school. It's a charity event. And they just want you to play one song. So I said, you know, it costs more if I have to play less. But the event was for this, it was to raise awareness of child abuse. They were getting all the kids and their parents together in the gymnasium to try to make the kids feel like if somebody was hitting them, that they should tell somebody about that, which is positive. You'd like to think that they would know that. And I thought it would be, I thought for sure, even, you know, even if I only get to play one song, it's good to be part of telling people that, right? So I shipped up there, and I was going to play, and that Barbara Mandrell was going to talk. She wasn't going to sing. And, yeah, which was another plus. And I remember they put me in the library there, and I had a little 6-pack in this bag, and I was sitting there drinking beer, watching Barbara Mandrell and her husband kind of bicker at each other, and then this guy in a suit comes in. He says he's like the senator or something. I think at first he thought I was supposed to get him some stuff, and then he said, "I'm Senator such and such," and he shook my hand, and I said, "I'm an entertainer too. My name's Todd." I'll never forget that. It was funny because then he wanted me to, he was like, help me run my speech off you. And then he was asking me what I thought they should do to make kids feel like they could say that they were being hit, you know. I haven't processed that. They don't feel like they can yet. And I also told him, I said, I don't like to talk about politics and religion and stuff like in bars, you know. They always tell, he said, it's a school. I said, is there a bar close to here? Anyway, this is the song they asked me to come play. I hope you like it. It's called You Think You Know Somebody. And this here is a story song about a kid I went to school with. I think you know somebody. You think they know you. You think you know somebody, but man, you never do. Jackie used to live about 3 blocks away from me. He used to throw the baseball and we would climb the old oak tree and we'd sneak his old man's cigarettes out behind a picket fence. Swore that we would always be the best of friends. They used to sit out on the curb and talk on summer nights until Jackie's daddy called him, and then he would take off like a light. Friday nights, they were always the same. Our high school senior year, hung out at the river, drank Black Label beer, and we would listen to the Stones with all of our old friends. Sometimes sneak a toke or two down where the river bend. I remember how I said I'd drive him home on Friday night. He said, go on without me, buddy, I'll be alright. We went off to college, start our freshman year. I went off to school about an hour away from here. But you know Jackie, he took off. He went to a college out of state. He used to call me all the time, and he would tell me that it was great. I'd say, I'm coming home for Christmas. Man, I hope you do the same. He'd say that he was coming, but you know Jackie, he never came. Oh, you think you know somebody. You think they know you. You think you know somebody, but man, you never have. Well, the night he got married, I was his best man. He moved back to town, so now we're neighbors again. And I've since found myself a wife, so now I'm married to. Our families, they get together every Sunday afternoon. His boy and my boy, they sit outside and talk at night until Jackie calls out for his boy. His boy takes off like a light. Well, last night I saw the flashing lights. I quickly ran outside. Neighbor lady told me that Jack is the youngest boy who died, and I was shocked to see the cops have my friend Jackie handcuffed in a car. Until this morning's paper told me how Jackie had gone too far. Now they're saying that Jackie isn't the only one to blame, because battered children, they almost always grow up to do the same. Oh, you think you know somebody? Do you think they know you? You think you know somebody, but man, you never do. Thanks a lot. That's kind of an old one. Kind of a bummer, you know, but sometimes shit's a bummer, you know. You get bummed out a little, then you drink a little beer, and you go back and forth. You go, or at least I do. Well, I do. I don't know. Maybe some of you don't. Maybe some of you have a good time all the time. I would like a job where you at, then. I even said so once. I hope you're having a good time. I'm having a good time, and I hear it. I'm making a mental note. All the songs that you've yelled for, I've made a mental note, and I am going to do all those. I'm not joking. I really have. I heard that. I can't do that at the beginning. Shit, I do that right after Freebird, and then we hit the... I don't know how you good for stories tonight. You just want to sing along. You're like... I got one more. You having fun? Yeah! I'm gonna do a request. I'm gonna do my own request. What city are we in?
Harrisburg.
Pennsylvania.
Go to Lukenbach.
I wish I knew a joke with Shecky style. But I don't. As a pig guy. Let's see.
You know one for us?
You want to hear a new one? Yeah. I think this one's funny. No one else does. I've had an odd year. I've had one of the worst years of my life. It's been funny. I did that song Beer Run, and it seemed like things really changed for my wife and I. All of a sudden I could fly to shows and I didn't have to work so much, and we got to buy new underwear and stuff. It's been a long time coming. And I've
No socks though, huh?
But on the other hand, I had a couple of friends got really sick, so it was also one of those, I don't know if you know this, but it's just like, isn't the year that you finally buy the house you want? Isn't that the year your dad gets cancer? Am I wrong? That's just how it works sometimes, I guess. Or sometimes it seems like the best stuff comes with the bad stuff, and you're not sure. Sometimes you're just not sure. And so this song, though it may have been written from a place of somebody that was in a hospital, it's supposed to be sort of redeeming and hopefully kind of even funny, really, I think. I like Randy Newman, so. He says these awful dark things, and me and my wife go, So don't feel afraid to laugh at some of this, but this is sort of where I was at there for a while. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. I just got out of a hospital for the third time in my life, and I have never been ashamed to admit that I was one of those people since the time that I was 20. If you had a drug, I would take it, and then I would ask you what it was. I'm not even ashamed of that, because I'm standing here. And I had a lot of good times. And as Bill Hicks says, I hate to go against the just say no to drugs policy, but, and I'm quoting Bill Hicks directly, but they always get that guy on TV that says, I had a house, I had a car, I had a wife, I had a job, and then drugs came into my life, and now I got nothing. And my story is like this. I was sober living on these guys' couch, and they were going, get out. And then one of them said, here, try this acid. The other one said, try this pot. The other one said, try this drinking. 13 years went by. this hospital. I said, what happened? They said, 13 years went by. I said, really? I said, I was living on a couch at someone else's place. I didn't have no money, I didn't have no parents, I didn't have no love life, I didn't have a job. They said, well, you got all that shit now? I said, do I have a car? Yeah. I got any bread? Yeah. So I'm gonna do some anti-drug commercials. As Hunter S. Thompson said, I would not advocate drugs and violence to anybody, but in my case, it's kind of worked. But those of you that have broken the habits that are gross know how hard it is to do. And so sometimes you're standing at a party and you feel like you're the life of it. And sometimes you're in a hospital and you feel like you're the death of it. And standing out on the edge of a building, watching the traffic below, drinking a beer and thinking of jumping, not far from ready to go. Below me the crowd slowly gathers around, cop cars with news cameras too. I can't get out of this pain I'm in, and I don't know what else to do. Sometimes I feel like I'm so uninvited, like something so out of touch. They tell me depression runs in the family, well that doesn't help me much. Below me, crowds yelling jump over a cop on a bullhorn, making him harder to hear. He's yelling something about having so much to live for. I'm almost through with my beer. Squinting my eyes to see through the sunlight. This crowd's even bigger now. There's no point in wondering what afterlife's like. It don't matter anyhow. We're already in hell as far as I can tell. Just listen to these people scream. This feels like a rally in a high school field house. I feel like the captain of the team. Well, here goes the captain of the team. Follow the light to the Garden of Eden. You stand at the pearly gate. St. Peter comes over, his hand on my shoulder. He's telling me I've got to wait. He says, you know, you can't kill yourself and still come in here, kid, but you look like a victim of circumstance. So I'm just gonna break every bone in your body and give you another chance. Waking up slowly, looking around me, it's a lonely recovery room. But closing my eyes, I can see the new sunrise over acres of flowers in bloom. Don't know when it will be, but the next time you see me, I'll be tapping to a whole new beat. Walking souls into the holes in my shoes down the sunny side of the street. Sunshine Would you like to hear that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I can tell the whole story there. I just lost a good friend of mine, and I'll just play the song and see if it holds up without me telling you about this guy, okay? Well, I can't help myself. There was this famous guy in Nashville, where I come from. There's two sides of Nashville. There's this part where they have a lot of starch. They sell a lot of starch, and those Western outfits. And then there's another side of town that's kind of the hippie side of town. And we had an unofficial mayor named Skip Litz, and he used to come into all the bars and yell, "Play a fucking train song." And I live in Little Hollywood, Tennessee. That's what they call it. It's right outside of Nashville. It's this tiny little neighborhood where all our houses are sort of like Mexican houses. It's really a beautiful part of the city. I don't know how we found the house, but we bought it, we live there, we love it. Every day, I'm one of these people you'd be surprised. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I sleep twice during the day. So my first time I get up is at 5 in the morning, and I like to get up and go walk for as far as I can, right? So I get up at 5, and the sun's about coming up, and I'm walking around this block, Little Hollywood, the block. And there's this old man sitting out on the porch with his shirt off. And it looks like the guys from BR549 are sitting there with him. And they're drinking whiskey, and I thought, well, see, now I'm up early. They're out late. And I didn't think nothing of it. I just kept walking. And the next day I came back around the corner. I was doing my walk. I would go around about 6 or 7 times, you know, just to get the blood going before you have to fucking pick up the phone and all that shit that life, you know, makes you do. And so I'm walking by, and the next time I see the same guy, BR549's not there, but this old man, guts out to here. He don't give a shit, man. He's got no shirt on. He's drinking Southern Comfort. It's 6:30 in the morning. He's got a joint hanging out of his mouth. So I walk by him, and I don't say anything. He says, "Hey, boy!" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You want a cigarette?" And I said, No, I'm good." He says, "You know, all that exercise is going to kill you one day." And I thought, I like this guy already. One of my neighbors, you know? So this is a true story. Oh, in fact, almost everything I say is true, but this is true. So then I go down to this bar called the Radio Cafe, and I'm sitting at the bar and I'm having a Rolling Rock, and these girls are sitting down at this table behind me, and I can overhear them telling this story about how the other night this old man that they knew who had worked at the Radio Cafe, they said he drove by the cafe. He was on a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, but he had a moped helmet, and the helmet was kind of broke, and it was leaning to the side. And he was going about 6 miles an hour, and he looked like he didn't know, where he was. And there's this 4-way stop there where everybody has to stop right in front of this Radio Cafe, which is a little hangout in my neighborhood. And so these girls said, this guy pulls up to the stop sign, honks his horn. Everybody looks up, and he's got his crooked helmet on. He says, "Hey, everybody! Woo!" And what I forgot to tell you was, there's like 9 cop cars behind him with the lights going. And he's going like, not only is he going like 7, but he's stopping at the stop signs. Got his helmet fucked up. He sees his buddies, beep, beep, hey! Stop! See you tomorrow night, man. Car behind, he goes driving off down the road. I found out later that when they finally caught him, they just beat the hell out of him. But this is one of those guys that you just couldn't beat the hell out of, you know? You could take his arm off, he'd say, yeah, keep it, you know? But when I heard this story from these girls, that's what I do. I was like, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. I really don't have to work or nothing. I just have to collect shit like this, you know? So I'm like, immediately I'm sitting at this table with these girls. I said, I got to know more about this guy, you know, that you're talking about. They said, well, he calls himself Uncle Skip. I said, oh man, I got this guy on my block that calls himself Uncle Skip, man. And they said, I think it's the same guy. He runs sound down here. And I thought, no shit, I gotta know this guy. So then, the next time I'm walking, I see him and he's got the joint and the whiskey, right? And I said, yeah, man, I'll have a plug of that, no problem. Shit. And I, you know, took a hit off the joint with him and we stood there and we talked and he started telling me this great story that I would tell it to you, but he never finished it. So anyway, this is what happens to this guy. I found out as I learned through this guy, this character, everybody in East Nashville knew this guy. He was very famous. He liked train songs. And every time he walked into a bar, he yelled, play a fucking train song until he got it. And if he didn't get it, usually the band got fired before he got kicked out. And I have watched, I swear to you, I'm not making this up, I have watched Emmylou Harris stop her set and play a train song for this guy. I watched Gillian Welch do the same thing. I watched Kevin Welch do this. I've watched many different artists go, hey, Skip, shit, yeah, I'll do a train song, because that's what he liked. And he was a big biker-looking guy, and his friends that, you know, he hung around with, it just looked like you should just play the fucking train song. He drove one of those big, long, black Cadillacs. I love this. And this might make you think less of me, but I don't give a shit. This guy, he had one of these long, black Cadillacs, no plates. Plates are all fucked up. No driver's license. No any of that stuff. The trunk of the car was full of a felony amount of drugs at almost all times. He drove as fast as he could everywhere he went. And when he parked at a bar, he would pull, because his heart was fucked up, so he would just pull right up to the door to where you had to kind of shimmy around his car to get in. And how this guy never got in trouble, I will never know. But I can't tell you how thrilling it is to go 80 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone with a felony amount of drugs in the back of a Cadillac with some old Vietnam veteran that doesn't give a shit about anything. And I wouldn't suggest it to some of you younger kids to try, but some of you older people whose lives aren't going to work out anyway. You gotta give it a shot, man. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, to make a short story long, which is pretty much the trademark of my career, really. So this guy Skip and me would become best friends. Every morning he gets up, he drives up to my house, we hang out, we sit around, we talk about his Cadillac. That was my life. If I wasn't home, I was hanging out with my buddy Skip, who I found out he had tour managed Dr. Hook in the Medicine Show. That was his job until his health got so bad that he couldn't do it anymore. So he ran sound at this local bar. Well, the doctors told him, the story gets sad for a minute. Some of my stories will get sad for a minute, but not for very long. I'll say some dirty word and we'll all laugh. Am I wrong? Right? That's the way it is. So this guy goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, man, you got cancer in your stomach. Shit, you're done, man. And my buddy says, bullshit. So he's sitting in the hospital for like a week, and it wasn't the Veterans Hospital. Was any veterans here? Yeah. Your hospitals are fucked. You know what I mean? More than any other shit we should be talking about. We should be talking about getting you guys as hospitals together, because you guys have worked so hard for this country, and then you can throw confetti at fucking anybody, but you gotta have a nice hospital for these people that do these things for these countries. And that always made me mad about my friend
this friend of mine, I'd take him to the VA hospital and they'd treat him like he owed them something, you know, and I thought they owed him something. So one day he passes out in his house and the ambulance comes and they don't take him to the VA, they take him to the normal hospital. He calls my house like I'm in the normal fucking hospital, man. This is fucking great. I got a morphine drip, man. I just hit the button. I just hit the button. Hang on, I hit the button. I go, that sounds great. He goes, yeah, they said I'm gonna die though, which is a drag. And I thought, I don't believe you. I don't believe that this guy's gonna die. So me and my wife, we had become his family by this time. He didn't have any family. We're not even sure his name was Skip. We're still trying to figure this out. He said he was a 57-year-old man named Skip Litz, and my wife and I were still looking into that. Either way, I don't care what his name was. I love him, you know. So he's up in the hospital. In the hospital, they call my house, and they say, he says that you're his family. We have bad news. We don't think he's going to make it through the night. He doesn't want to be here. He wants to talk to you. So, great. So I put him on the phone. He says, listen, man, they tell me I'm going to die. You think I want to die in this fucking hospital? Listen, come get me. I want to go have a grill. We're going to have a barbecue in your backyard. And then at the end of it, I'll die. It'll be great. I said, for you, maybe. The rest of us are going to have a lot of cleaning up to do. Not to mention phone calls and things we have to make. So, but he's my buddy, right? So I do it anyway. Honest to God, I show up at the hospital. He's got a joint hanging out of his mouth. He's got his boots on. He's in his hospital, whatever that gown is that they make so your ass hangs out, which I think they do on purpose to embarrass you and make you feel less than them. We do. They could make a gown where your ass didn't hang out. They do that on purpose. So he's walking around. He's got that shit going on. Now listen to this. You won't believe this. He's got all these plastic spoons taped to himself. And he's walking into all these old people's rooms. And he's saying, they fucked up my plastic surgery, man. he says, I don't look a thing like Elvis, man. This is bullshit. And all these old people who are obviously not going to be around much longer, they were laughing so hard. And the doctors would be like, Mr. Litz, we need you to come out here. And he's smoking a joint. And oh, man, you guys fucked up my plastic surgery. And they're like, please. And you can tell the old people are like, don't make him leave. Jesus. What are we going to, we're going to watch Jeopardy when he leaves? Come on. So the doctor says to me, he says, listen, this guy, he's not going to make it through the night. So he's signing himself out against all of our wishes, and you're in charge of him. So there you go. That's how this works out. So I said, fine. I don't give a shit. I'll sign. He signs. We drive off. We go to my house. We have a barbecue. We start, and they say as soon as his drugs wear off, he'll probably die. So we eat a hamburger. We're fucking around, listening to the oldie station. She said, Brandy, you're a fine girl. We're doing all that. Having a great time. He starts drinking Southern Comfort. And then at about 8, he decides he wants to go see BR 549 downtown. I started thinking, I don't think this guy's gonna die. And he didn't chip in for shit at the barbecue. You know? So we take him downtown to see BR 549. About 2 o'clock in the morning, I thought, fuck, I'm gonna die, you know? And I said, hey, man, perfectly. Hey, man, I think I'm gonna die. I'm gonna go home. So I went home. What is that, Sprite? That's great. You must really think that's Sprite in there. So anyway, I left him. I went home, and about 3 days later, he shows up in a truck. I don't know whose truck it was.
there's like 3 girls in the truck with him, and he's got a piano in the back of the truck, and he unloads. He makes the girls unload the piano, right? And he says, "Hey, you saved my life, man. I wanted to give you this piano." And I said, "Great." He says, "If you were single, I'd have brought you these chicks." So then he says to me, I'm sorry this is such a long story, but this is a true story, and it means a lot to me because a good friend, and I hope you enjoyed it. And it does have a bit of a sad ending, but which story doesn't, right? So he says to me, man, the doctors say there's this surgery they can give him that's going to take him out of pain, but not really change things, but make him so that he can enjoy the last few months of his life more. So they say, but you might not make it through this surgery. So I say, that's great, try it, you gotta try it. So we take him down to the VA, and the night before the surgery, he calls me up and says, "Hey, sunshine." I said, "Yeah." He says, "You gotta get out of here." I said, "Okay." He said, "Bring some money." I said, "Oh, all right." So I bring some money, and when I get there, he's in his jeans and his boots and his jacket, but he's still got the tubes hanging out of his arms and the thing around his wrist. And he says, "Let's go." And I said, "Well, what are you talking about? Let's go." He says, "Fuck you." I said, "What do you mean, fuck me?" He says, "Come on, let's go." So we left. And we get in my car. He says, "I gotta go to the bar, I gotta get a drink." So we go to this bar. He says, "I want 2 Southern Comforts," to the lady. He said, and the lady says, "Okay." He says, "I'm gonna die tomorrow, lady." She says, "Okay." "Here's your drink." She says, "Can I see your breasts?" And she showed him to him. Because he was gonna die. Then, the next day I went to Philadelphia to do a tour, and my wife called me and she said, "Hey man, he didn't die." I wanted to call the bar and tell that girl, you know. Hey, you could have kept your breasts to yourself. Nevertheless, he was feeling good, and he said, "You know what I'd really like to do, man? I know I don't have a lot of time left, but I want to tour manage again, you know?" He said, "Come with me. Let me go with you. I'll be your tour manager." So I said, "Okay, you can do it." So we went to, I'm sorry, the song's about an eighth of as long as the story. I was used to hear when I'd be on the road, "Hey, you know, your wife's running around with this old biker." I'd say, "I know. He's looking after her." Anyway, so he tour managed me for a while, and then we were going up to Virginia to do a tour, and I went over to pick him up. And I walked into his apartment to get him, and he was asleep on the sofa, kind of laughing. And I said, "Come on, get up, man, get up." And he wouldn't get up. So I shook him. When I shook him, he was really cold. So I called the police. I tried to get rid of all the drugs, take them back to the people he bought them from. And the police came and they made me leave, but not before we got to sit on the couch and have about a half-hour conversation. They found some marijuana. They said, "Was this man a drug dealer?" I said, "Yes." The cop said, "Well, who did he sell drugs to?" I said, "Me." "What are you going to do, arrest us now?" But anyway, I just want you to know that he was real famous around there. So there was a big article in the Nashville paper when he died that said, "Remember that guy that you heard yell, 'Play a fucking train song'? Well, he's gone." And I never saw a funeral like that where there was like a lot of singers there. Not just singers like me, like not just folk singers like me who travel, but country music stars and stuff were there. They were friends of this guy's. And there was also a lot of homeless people there. And they all got to meet each other. And I remember one of the homeless guys going, I didn't know Skip knew any of y'all. Like, I thought he lived in the street like me, you know? And sometimes he did. He was just one of those guys. So anyway, about a week later, I was on the road, and I wanted to make this song for my friend. He always used to say, you're a songwriter? And he'd say, no, baby, I'm a song. So this song is probably not as good of a song as he was.
Park it up on the sidewalk like he owned the whole downtown. Hear him talking to some chick through a thick ghost of smoke, through a thicker haze of southern comfort and cold. Say, girl, you're hot down the hinges, hanging off the gates of hell. Don't be afraid to turn to me, babe, if he don't treat you well. And by he meant me, so I laughed and I shook his head. He laughed a little bit louder as he yelled up out the bend. That train song, pull me one more round, make him leave my boots on the day to lay me down. I may run away, locomotive out on this one-track mind, and I'm looking for any kind of trouble that I can find. Got this old black leather jacket, got this pack of Marlboro Reds, got this stash here in my pocket, got these thoughts in my own head. The right to run until I gotta walk, till I've gotta go. This moment that I'm in right now, and nothing else at all. Play a train song, pull me one more round, make them leave my boots on the day to lay me down. I may run away, locomotive out on this one-track line. Looked around this place, found him cool there on the sofa, a little smile across his face. And though I tried to fold my sadness, somehow I just could not